7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16. Is this enough, sir? $17, $18. This man's mouth is open, someone should close it. This man's eyes are open, someone should shut them. This man... I know him. His name is Adam. Someone should... I know this man. He has a wife, he has a daughter, someone should... His wife had a husband. His daughter had a father. In a matter of seconds, Adam became a past tense. All these men are now in the past tense. Do you think there's a world for people who live in the past tense? Do you think it's better? Do they live without war, without injustice, without pain? Are all men free? Will men never be free until they go to the past tense? Do the past tense people get to know about the future? Will he know if it was worth it? Will his daughter's father know that he lives in the past tense for a reason, or are they stuck? Do eyes never shut? Do mouths never close? More? Step back. When everything just kept moving and moving, I used to wish for moments of stillness, but not like this. Further? These men once ran. Past tense. And now they're still. More. Still misgrant us immortality.
I used to hate the city. Felt like I couldn't breathe, but I had work and couldn't complain. One day we was just working and Tommy had the good idea of taking a break out on the beams. Some thought he was crazy, but we were the ones who put him in. Now's as good a time as ever to see if they're safe. The first day it was just me and him having lunch up there. As we kept doing it, we get a few more hitchhikers every day. When Billy first joined us, I swear that man was gonna hurl. I told him whoever was standing at the bottom of the building was gonna have a whole lot of questions. But he got a hold of his stomach once he started looking out instead of down. It was so beautiful. There was nothing else to think about. The air was different. I felt like I could breathe again. I started looking at the city different. You could see the whole town from up there, the whole world. Everyone looked so small. It didn't matter if you were the big mans or the beggars. Everyone was the same size from where we were sitting. Everyone's was equals. Felt kind of like the Lord himself. From up there, you can't see the coins in people's pockets, but you can see the coins that people hand out to those who need them. As we started sitting up there, people started to take notice. One day, we got a visit from the boss himself. We was all afraid we was gonna get the boot, but instead he had this big smile on his face. He told us that he hired some man to take our picture, and we sat there all confused, but the picture man said to carry on as normal, so we just started talking and click. There you have it. Lunch atop a skyscraper. The picture man followed us around a couple more places. They had us chatting, playing football, working, but they just showed the lunch photo. The boss patted us on the back and said we was gonna be remembered as the good working men, the pillars of America. And then he left. I only saw him once after that. We was passing each other and I stopped him to say hi. He had no idea who I was. I was just a worker, like all the rest. That picture went famous. It made people proud to be American. There were all these articles wondering who the men in the picture were. Maybe it was this big mystery. Well, we're right here. We weren't hiding in nothing. Maybe you didn't look hard enough. Maybe you didn't want to. Maybe it made you feel better that men like me didn't have names, didn't have families, lives, hobbies. To you, we were just the good working men, the nameless, faceless pillars of America.
You seem scared, frightened even. You need not be. Not impose any threat, hold any ill will. We can't do anything as it is, but still, you're scared. And you could ask yourself why, of course, but then again, you already know the answer. Fear of the other, fear of the unknown. You don't trust me. And sure, I've given you no reason to yet, only reasons to hide. But you will see me for what I am. The false dichotomy of McCarthyism says that we are diametrically opposed. I don't see it as such. I think that we are closer to you than you realize. Not just in numbers, strength, but in ideas. And you just got to see it that way. We just want what everyone wants. Freedom, security. So many families suffering in poverty, so many husbands going jobless, wives going sleepless, so many children without protection, insurance. So easy to fall through the cracks when your own government doesn't know you exist. And we've been watching for a long time, waiting, observing, silent and still. I could be anywhere. Anyone. Your mother, your teacher, secretary, your neighbor. We are here. And we are real. There's no need to be scared. We're just as much the patriot as you. You're forward thinking and wanting the best for our nation, you could join us. And we'll gladly have you, and you'll be safe here. Safe in the ambiguity. If no one sees us, there's no one to shine a light on us, and you can just walk safe, faceless, one of the herd, into the shadows. I promise, I swear, we will be seen as freedom fighters, not terrorists. We don't wish for anarchy. We don't want fighting, violence, death. We just want fairness, equity. And we can deliver. That we can do, for we are a safe haven from the darkness of the rest of the world. No discrimination or judgment, and everyone is saved and protected under our ideas. So I fight it. Sooner or later you'll give in. Resistance is futile, and we already have everything in our power. We are everywhere. I am everywhere. And you don't know where I am. Menacing, isn't it? That's what they call us, a menace, a threat, but that's only if you don't understand. If you don't look for yourself. We aren't here to hurt the country. We want to heal it. And we always welcome those willing to heal with us, those willing to look for themselves. And when you find me, don't run the other way. Forget the lies you've been told and see me as I am, and open your eyes to the truth.
I remember warning Marisol when she came with me to her first meeting. It's never a good sign when they have no good reason for being there. Plenty of men just trying to get some like anywhere else. But the good ones, like Rubin, they were there for all the right reasons. Supposed to be la Revolución Grande. And it was. Claro que sí, the walkouts, the moratorium, the protests in Chicano Park, at the cathedral. Brown seas of students demanding equal treatment. But Heidi, Rigoberta, these are the names we forget. We were not looking for glory, but it was terrible what they did to Rubin. But two of my Chicana sisters were also brutally murdered by the police that day. They didn't write for LA Times or anything. But they were as much a part of the cause as the Vatos Locos. As much a part as me and Marisol. Or so I thought. At first, Marisol seemed to burn with this passion, the same as I did. She said she had come from East Los, but me ni mis camaradas knew anything of her. I didn't make too much of this, but the reasons that she gave, burning it all down, reclaiming Aztlán por la raza, these seemed more like a white man's idea of what we were doing. But what about Catalina, you say? La ocupación. If you think we thought the ricos were going to give up their mansions, please. Besides, what about the brown people who lived there before them, huh? I'm getting away from myself again. We called ourselves Las Adelitas de Aztlán. I would be lying if I didn't say I felt a little ridiculous in the getup. I remember asking one of the organizers, "Isn't this a little much?" She turned to me and said, "No. This is exactly what is called for. The Anglos only knew us as their señoras, the maid, the gardener. These uniforms were a way to reclaim our own image." I was sheepish in it at first. I felt like a Che wannabe. But seeing all the other Chicanas, I realized it wasn't about me. For the first time in my young life, I was part of a body that could have some bearing on American politics. that was bigger than myself, that was just like we sang, unidos. At one of our events, I lost track of Marisol for a short time. I never much liked being on my own. This young Chicana with a camera asks if she can take my photo, and I look around to see who she must be talking to. Tú, she says, young soldadera, look here. Behind me there are textiles like those my ancestors wove, and signs that said, we must always remember the risk of dying for the cause. I look at that girl now, so sheepish, making herself so small, but also the boldest I had ever been. Just as she was thanking me, we heard the familiar siren wails and flashing red and blue. I look around for Marisol but cannot find her. Then behind an incoming wave of policia, I see her. People are yelling, puercos, and there is gas in the air. I take cover behind a wall and wait. Then I hear a familiar voice. She tells me she is sorry, that it is only part of the job. I put out my wrist to get cuffed, but she tells me to run. I do. I suppose the war is bigger than any one battle. But I still fight. I owe that to my sisters. Even Marisol. Sí se puede.
Police arson squads are investigating the ruins of a New Orleans bar.
The flash fire spread throughout the second-story bar in a matter of seconds.
I will say that what was done intentionally.
It happened so fast. I can't remember. Just boom. It all went red. Look, I thought maybe the police had something to do with it. They came around here a few times, took some names down, but it got so hot, so fast, and it couldn't. The police wouldn't do that, right? I couldn't breathe. God, it still feels like there's smoke in my throat. Tastes like blood. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I can't give you any more. I don't know how it started. It just did. And then people were running and pushing over tables, trying to leave with their lives, but the door was locked. Locked from the outside. The little guys were able to leave through the windows, but the bigger guys? So one guy got stuck in the window. His screams. My God. I heard them from above me and I couldn't help but crying. What could I do? What could any of us do? church. I come there every week. Gay friendly. We're the only ones around here. No, there's been threats before, there always are, but we didn't expect it to actually happen. That was stupid of me. We need to be more careful. People like me. Us. But I couldn't think, and it happened so fast, it just ate everything up. You got names? Names of them still up there. Damn it! Let me back in. No, please. Let me back in. I just need to see him. No, I promise I won't touch anything. I just need to see him for myself, because it might not be him. Okay, a lot of the guys, they don't carry IDs in case the police come raid, so maybe it's not him. No, they're wrong. I know they're wrong, and I can prove it to you. You just have to let me back in. Please, he's fine. He's fine. He's ran as soon as he got out, and he's fine. Please just tell me he's fine. You don't know anything. Okay. Stop it, you. It's not fair. You don't get to do that. I'm not just another story up here. I'm not just another paycheck. That was my boyfriend up there. And he did. Promise me that people are gonna know what happened. You have to publish this, okay? So many guys up there. They just have some kind of respect. Honor. Promise me that people will know what happened upstairs. That's all you gotta do, just make sure they know about everything. The fires, the threats, the hate. Just make them talk. That's all you gotta do. No, yeah. They'll be okay. I just can't believe it. Still. Just come. You know what? So hot. So fast.
home.
You're home.
And we can finally move on.
Yes.
We can. Together?
I hope so.
Jane, I held your letters tight every night at sea. Before I went to sleep, I would imagine your face and us by the lake so that if anything happened, I would die thinking happy thoughts of you.
But we don't have to think about that anymore.
Yes.
We can finally move on. There's a future for us. I can continue being a nurse, and I'm certain they'll have jobs for you boys. We're gonna be okay.
We're gonna be okay.
I still have those flowers you gave me before you left.
Really?
Yes, I dried them out and framed them so I'll have them forever.
Every night from here on out, I will bring you flowers.
Every night?
Every night. Maybe sometimes even in the daytime, too.
Jon!
I will. And Jane,
Yes?
if you'll let me, I would like to keep bringing you flowers for a long time.
How long?
As long as we got.
Jon Gerald Johnson, are you proposing?
Yes.
To me?
Yes.
Jon! Why me?
I spent the last 2 years on a boat, seasick. Do you know I get seasick?
No, I didn't.
Apparently I do, which would have been a good thing to know before joining the Navy, but whenever I was barfing up a lung, all I could think about was you.
You thought about me when you were throwing up.
No. Yes. Besides the point, what I mean is, you got me through the war. When I was scared and miserable, I would build our future house in my head. It's gonna be green.
Green.
Yes, green is your favorite color. I want to build a green house with you. I want us to build it. Together.
Together.
Yes, it's gonna be our home, the home that we make. It's gonna be full of love. It's gonna be safe. We're safe now. And I want to be safe with you for as long as you'll have me.
We should plant a garden.
Whatever you want.
So that way we don't have to buy flowers every night. We can just grow them ourselves.
Are you saying...
Call me Mrs. Jon Gerald Johnson.
The war is over.
And our lives are just starting. The sailor of my dreams.
Come on and play the sailor's polka. Make way for navy blue.
I'm sorry. I had to kiss you. The war is over.
The war is over.
We kissed.
Yes.
I have a girlfriend.
You have a girlfriend?
Oh my God, I have a girlfriend.
no.
I lost her. She was right here with me.
She was with you? Here?
Yeah, I mean, there was all this excitement, and you were there, and you're a nurse.
I'm not a nurse.
You're not, but I kissed you because you had seen the horrors of the war, and I had seen the horrors of the war, and now the war is over, so, you know.
I'm not a nurse. I'm a dental assistant.
A dental assistant for the war.
No,
For veterans?
not really. Our office is kind of expensive.
But the outfit.
Dental assistants wear this outfit.
Still, the war is over.
The war is over.
What's your name, by the way?
Greta?
It's Greta to meet you. I'm George.
George. Can you believe the war is over?
No, I'm not a cheater.
Okay.
I would never cheat on Rita.
Okay.
I love Rita. I'm meeting her family for dinner tonight, and if all goes well, you know, maybe we'll get married.
Congratulations
On what?
on getting married.
Who's getting married?
You are.
I'm getting married to who?
Rita.
Rita. Yes, I know Rita.
I should hope so.
Shit, I'm drunk. I was just so excited, and I ran out here, and everyone was so happy for the first time in so long, and no one's happy anymore, you know, because of the war and all. It's been a real downer, but I saw this beautiful American nurse.
Dental assistant. And I'm not American.
You're not?
I'm from Austria.
Austria? Well, you speak perfect American. Anyway, I saw this beautiful Austrian dental assistant just standing there, and I thought to myself, I have to kiss her, so, I did.
You really should not make that a habit of kissing anyone you want. That's not very good. But the war is over. I enjoyed myself. But you should find Rita.
Rita.
Your girlfriend!
Right.
Do you need help? Are you going to be able to find your way home?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'm lying, but sure.
Wonderful. Well, I'll be leaving now.
Wait, are you sure you wouldn't want to maybe meet up sometime?
No, this is fine. Have a lovely rest of your day.
You as well, and go USA, or in your case, go Austria. Oh wait, no.
Go USA!
Go USA! 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 USA!
The war is over!
The war is over.
Kinda.
The band will start playing, the dancing will begin when the fleet comes sailing in.
Rita?
Make way for navy blue.
Yep. That's me down the front there. No, I was never much good at music. Funny enough, after that day, I tried. I suppose you just have to have the ear for it. And the genes, as they say. Don't get me wrong, I can carry a tune all right, just not like Mingus. Shit, I guess that's a pretty high bar, huh? The day before, my daddy had me go down, pick up a piece of paper and some cigarettes. He said, "Don't you screw it up this time, boy." On my way back, these white boys tell me to get out with my dirty face this and my jungle music that, take the paper, rip it up, and chase me away. I ran as fast as my feet could carry. Dropped the damn cigarettes, too. No telling what would have happened had they caught up to me. But like I said, I was never really a fan of that jungle music they were teasing me for. I knew those folks were around, but I was never much a music fan. What can I say? But that day, I was doing the wash when my friend Rufus runs in and says, "They're taking a picture outside." And I say, "What kind of picture?" And he says, "All the great musicians were being rounded up on the old stoop on 126. "Why'd they come here?" I remember asking. He's got to remember most of them cats had left by then. And what said, "Didn't matter," and pulled me right into the street. We were standing around, not trying to draw attention, when some of them started teasing this man walking up, saying, "Good you can make it, Basie." And this guy says, "It's not my fault. I'm still getting work, unlike some of you has-beens." And they all just laugh. But this man walks up to me and my friend and says, "Why don't you boys hop in there?" And old Rufus says no and backs away. But the man walks up and says, "What's your name, son?" And I say, "Willie." And he says, "Just like me." Puts out his hand and says, "Willie Basie." An adult had never talked to me in earnest like that. He says, "Why don't you sit next to them fellows on the curb?" And I do. The lady photographer takes a few and says, "We got it." Mr. Basie tells me to keep on, and disappears into the mass of people. Before that day, I always thought Willie was a child's name. Still going by it, if that tells you anything.
This cup protects you from decay, starts instant action right away, even if you brush and rush.
Instant action against tooth decay.
I love the dentist. Mother and Father said my rotten tooth would have to go. They said that all the after-dinner pastels I ate, not just after dinner, had rotted it through and there was nothing else to be done. We tied some cooking twine to the tooth and the other end to the retired stallion Isinglass and let him loose. Unfortunately, the old horsey enfeebled himself and he only ended up dragging me halfway to town before he fell into the ravine. Had I been dragged into, I would have been liable to have my skeleton plucked from within and drowned in a shallow grave. Oh, but no need to worry. A rock cut the twine, and we ate well for the next few days from tender old isinglass. Mother had taken Thomas and myself in to have our hair trimmed and remarked that we should have a quick extraction while we were in. Mr. Stanley is quite adept at hair, but I wasn't too certain of his abilities on teeth. Sensing my trepidation, the old man said, "You like candy, lassie? One of these will fix you right up." "Isn't candy the reason I am in this predicament?" I inquired. "No need to worry," said Mr. Stanley. "Christ is the patron of infirmities, and cocaine is one of the blessed instruments of his pain-removing mission. And once I'd had one of these, I'd never want an old pastel again." And boy, howdy, was he right. I have had such visions, and the procedure was no bother. Each lurch of the clamp was a loving caress, and the taste of my own blood was overwhelmed by fancies of the most sumptuous sort. These visions, they're better than anything out of a Nickelodeon or a funny book. This newfangled tingly candy brings such dewy tastes and sounds. Mother and Father are quite pleased. I now do my chores and then some. I have seen the harbingers of total lucidity. My mind and my body race like a horse into a ravine. There was no life before cocaine, and there is now life in abundance. Well, it appears that in my zeal for wonderment, I may have lost a few more teeth. My cocaine drops are in short supply. I only need a few cents more. Please.
I wish she hadn't taken my picture. They call us pea farmers, which we ain't. Picked plenty of pecan or stalk of rye, but the RA used it to hand out. My babies never see any of that money, but they still never go hungry. They never go hungry. Then the government uses my face to give and give and give. My grandparents never saw a cent from the Fed when they got moved up from the coast. Reckon they had it a hell of a lot worse, too. But they had grit. My first time off Indian territory was after I married Cleo. Hadn't been to Mississippi but a few months for Cleo come home one day and says, "We're going west." I wanted to stay on the res, close to the land, close to my people, but I had no real say. Not that I knew the homesickness was anything but foolishness. There was nothing left. Fields went and dried up. Staying was a fool's game, but some tried. It wasn't easy getting here, especially not with the little ones, with one that was brand new. But they all grew up good kids despite it all. Like I said, grit. We break down on the side of this road. My husband and his brother go to get help. This lady comes, says she with the government, and wouldn't it be nice if she could take my picture? 'Cause they want to help, but they need to see, you know. You know. Why they gotta see me, my children like this, I ask. Then I think of all the people I seen living and dying out west so far. A lot of folks didn't make it. A lot of Mexicans taken back to the old country. I feel for them, but I wonder if they're that worse off. It ain't easy for any one of us. But in that moment, I figure it's the right thing to do for my family, for my people. Hell, it may have even been the American thing to do. The lady takes her camera and moves this way and that. It says to turn there and look here because of light and whatever else. It's at this point I want to remind her who's doing who the favor. But I don't have the energy. The little ones have no idea what's going on, but I tell them to smile for the nice lady. So smiling's not the point, and she tells them so. She says Lizzie has to go, says she's not working, but I know why she goes. I know why. I want to tell her I don't care whether it's you or your fancy friends won't like a poor family that's too big. I want to ask her how many chillin' is too much for oaky trash, but I'm tired. I'm tired. She do want me feeding Jasper, but I don't like being exposed like that. We do this one and that until finally she stops and looks at her camera and says, "Oh, that's the one." She wishes us well, offers a little money, but I say, "I can't take that, ma'am. I can't take that." She thanks me again and again, but I say again, it's no trouble. She asks if we're sure we're all right, but before I can say yes, she's gone back the way she came. Jasper begins to cry. All that light and sound, it's not good for a babe. So I cradle him and I look into his eyes. These dusty blues are the dustiest ones I know. These dusty blues are the dustiest ones I know. Buried head over heels in the black gold dust. I had to pack up and go. And I just float in, and soon I'll blow out again.
I had always watched them from afar, the lights. For a long time, there was nothing, and then all of a sudden, there was something. At first, I thought they were stars, but they were different. They didn't shine as bright on their own like normal stars.
they needed each other. They depended on each other to make anything bright enough for the rest of us to see. I asked the other stars if they knew who they were. They had no clue. One day, Mr. Sun asked me if I would keep my eye out for them. I said, of course, and so that became my job, to watch over my little lights. Mr. Sun would watch them for half of the day, and then when he needed to rest, I would watch them for the other half. Every night, I would watch my little lights and wonder who they were. How many of them are there? Do they have craters like mine? Are they alone? And who do they think I am? Do they know I'm even here? Do they know that I watch over them? Everyone was always curious about my little lights. Nobody had ever made contact with them. They never went to any of the system meetings, and everyone always wanted to know what my little lights were up to. Most days there was nothing to report, but sometimes, every so often, I would see big black clouds that looked like mushrooms, and then I wouldn't see some of my little lights for a while. Everyone began to make up theories about them, that they were slowly eating the universe to become more powerful, or that that's where stars go when they die. To finally put an end to all this speculation, Mr. Sun decided to send in a task force of comets that were supposed to routinely get closer and report what was happening. All we learned is that there are many more little lights than we thought. Then there was a time when we thought they were reaching out. A couple of times they would send a little light off of their surface, but then they would turn around and go back. Were they scared? Scared of me? All I wanted to do was reach out and tell them that I'm here. I'm here, that I watch over them, that I'll never let anything happen to them, that they're not alone. They played this trick a couple of times, and then one day everything changed. The light kept getting closer and closer, and it wasn't stopping. It was coming to me. Me. They had to have known that I am their protector. They had to have been coming to thank me, to be with me, to look after me too. Then they kept going and going, and they weren't stopping. They didn't stop to talk to me. They just put their tiny meteor on top of me. And then the meteor opened, and 3 minuscule lights walked out. And they walked all over me. They didn't talk to me, they just walked on me. And they didn't float, but stomp. Stomp after stomp after stomp. They weren't here for me. They acted like I wasn't even there. And they took some of my soil. They scratched at my skin. And these creatures didn't even have faces. There's no eyes to see me, no mouth to talk to me. And then the faceless lights dug a needle into my skin. They had no ears and couldn't hear me scream. The needle had a marker on it with stars. But they were nothing like stars. Stars would have never behaved like that. Stars bow to you when they greet you. But these faceless lights cut me up, took some of my soil, and left me with a reminder that I am not alone, and that I need no longer worry for them, but of them.
All the day long, whether rain or shine, she's a part of the assembly line. She's making history, working for victory. Rosie the Riveter keeps a sharp lookout for sabotage, sitting up there on the fuselage. That little frail can do more than a male can do. Rosie the Riveter.
They came to me on my break. They asked if I could stay a few hours after the day ended. They paid me overtime, and they got me all gussied up and sat me down in front of a backdrop. You know, they told me to pose all strong and stuff. They wanted to capture my likeness, they said. You made me get into a painting. I mean, you know, whatever I could do to help the war effort, of course. You know, everyone's got to do their part. And I was proud of it. You know, I was. I mean, who else has a painting done of them? You know, one so big and famous, right? And they asked how we manage, you know, with the heavy tools and the grimy uniforms and such, and I said, we just do. We get by. So I guess they took that and they made me look all big and strong, you know, much more burly than I really am. And pretty soon, you know, they started putting my picture up on the walls of the factories, all blown up and larger than life. I remember the first day I walked in, and all the girls smiled right at me. I'm proud of what I did. And it felt good to have the respect for the time, but no, I mean, I wasn't famous or anything. It was just a propaganda ad, nothing more. In all honesty, it was only up for about a few weeks, and they took it down, replaced with the other girls, you know, different phrase, different face, so it wasn't much at first. You know, just a little something to be proud of. Something that separated me from the other working women in sorts. But then, you know, Reagan brought it all back with the whole 40th anniversary celebration commemorating America's leading the new frontier in democracy and excellence. And bam. You know, all of a sudden my face is on every newspaper, mug, pin, you name it. I was an icon. And the female activists loved it. They called themselves Rosies after me. I mean, wow. And all I did was pose for a little painting, and now I'm everywhere. You know, I'm the girl fighting for equality and women's rights and equal pay. I'm the girl rallying support from women everywhere and ushering in the cause. That's me. I'm telling everyone to look forward to a greater tomorrow. And after all, this is America. And everyone's entitled to the same freedoms. You know, not just the Uncle Sams and the politicians and the businessmen and these girls. And they look to me and they see a reason to fight and to keep going. They know the same thing I do. You know, we can do it. We can.
Thank you so much for coming to see the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming to the American Iconography Project and for your support of the student theater community at UCLA.
We wanted to give a big thank you to our incredible cast who brought new life to these American icons, the dedicated crew who spent hours to create this original work, and most importantly, we want to thank you, the audience, for your incredible support.
This is the second show in the premiere season for Out of the Blue Theater Company,
and we are so grateful for all of the support we've received thus far. Thanks to generous donations from audiences like you, we can keep creating new, innovative, experimental, and unconventional theater, even in times like this.
Out of the Blue is a brand new organization here at UCLA, and a lot of the funding for our shows, like the one you saw tonight, comes from our own pockets. If you like tonight's performance and you want to donate to see future shows by Out of the Blue, you can do so on the Venmo app at Out of the Blue Theater. Any amount helps.
Tonight we are so excited to announce our Out of the Blue donor program. We want to give back to everyone who makes shows like this possible, so check out the program linked in the description for more information.
To keep up to date with our upcoming projects, like our next show, The Last 5 Years, which premieres March 20th, follow us on Instagram at outoftheblue.ucla.
Again, thank you so much for supporting Out of the Blue Theater Company.
And we hope you enjoyed the show!